Mario used several really cool transformations in Super Mario Bros. The movie, but did you know we'll see many new versions of the plumber in the new production that will be released in theaters? Bee Mario. One that would be incredible to see is Bee Mario, where he gains the abilities of a bee. It makes perfect sense for us to see this transformation here since it first appeared in the game Super Mario Galaxy, the main inspiration for Mario's new cinematic adventure, as the title itself makes very clear. Bee Mario appears when the plumber obtains a bee mushroom, which can be found in the Honey Hive Galaxy. If we see a planet full of bees in any of the upcoming Super Mario Galaxy trailers, we'll be sure that this special hero form will show up. And remember, this is just one of the 13 new versions of Mario that will appear in Super Mario Galaxy the movie. Are you ready? Because another amazing Cinewave is starting now. Skeleton Mario. One scene from the first Super Mario Galaxy trailer that created many theories is the moment when Bowser is painting a picture with great inspiration, until we realize that the painting shows our beloved plumber as a skull. This seems to show that Bowser still hates Mario with all his strength, and yes, the two still hate each other, as we can see in the very next scene. However, some fans believe this painting means something much worse than just a display of hatred. The theory is that this is a hint about what Mario's fate will be, which would mean his destiny could be to lose his life. Pretty dark, right? But what if the painting is even more literal, and Mario's fate is to become a skeleton? We saw in the first movie, and in the games, that there are skeletons that act as if they were alive, specifically turtle skeletons known as dry bones. They no longer have life, but they keep moving thanks to some kind of magical force. What if Mario dies and that magic is used to bring him back as a skeleton Mario? In that state, he could even serve the villains as a powerful minion, at least until Peach and Luigi find a way to bring him back to life. Black Cat Mario. Mario has several funny transformations, but one of the most hilarious is Cat Mario, where he gets a very playful cat suit. Even though he looks adorable, he also gains several incredible abilities, such as super agility and cat claws. And maybe we'll see a new version of this transformation called Black Cat Mario. We can't underestimate Cat Mario. Donkey Kong made that mistake in the first movie and got wrecked because of it. Now imagine a Black Cat Mario. In case you didn't know, black cats are often associated with the myth that they bring bad luck. That's just superstition and shouldn't be taken seriously, because black kittens are just as cute and lovable as any other cats. But it's still fun to see this idea adapted into movies. So just imagine if Black Cat Mario had all the abilities of regular Cat Mario, but could also give his enemies bad luck. That would be a genius way to make this transformation even more powerful. Frog Mario. Our favorite plumber has several animal-related transformations, and one that hasn't appeared in the movies yet is Frog Mario, where he gets a frog suit and gains frog-like abilities, such as higher jumps. There are signs this will change soon, because the Super Mario Galaxy trailer showed this form being used, but by Luigi. That's cool too, but it would be even cooler to see Mario using it himself. Since his brother will use the frog mode, it means Mario could very well end up using this transformation in the same scene. Of course, we can't be certain, since Mario didn't use some transformations that other characters used in the first production, but even so, the chances shouldn't be ignored. Metal Mario. Super Mario 64 is one of the character's most important games, and here we have a unique transformation, Metal Mario, a form where he becomes metal and nearly indestructible. It works as a substitute for the invincible form gained through the Superstar, which Mario even used at the end of the first movie. Since Superstars seem to be much rarer in the movie universe than in the games, it makes sense for Metal Mario to appear as a transformation that's easier to obtain. This version of the character isn't very well known, but one amazing thing about the Mario movies made by Illumination in partnership with Nintendo is that we see elements from many different games being mixed into each production. Even things that didn't get much spotlight in the games get a chance to shine here. One example appears in one of the Super Mario Galaxy trailers, where we see an Ukiki, an animal that only had real prominence in the game Yoshi's Island. So, which of these transformations would you most like to see in the new Mario movie? Comment down below #Mario along with your answer so we can read it. Boomerang Mario. As we already mentioned, the first movie wasn't afraid to mix classic games with newer ones. That's why we see Cat Mario, even though he comes from the 2011 game Super Mario 3D World. The game isn't exactly new, but it feels like it came out yesterday when we compare it to Super Mario Bros., which was released in 1985. Another form that was introduced in 3D World is called Boomerang Mario. The name is just as self-explanatory as most of the other transformations, with him becoming able to throw boomerangs around just like Boomerang Bro, one of the plumber's enemies. If we already got one one transformation from 3D World, why couldn't we get more? Baby Mario. There's an amazing game called Yoshi's Island where we see Mario when he was still a baby. He's usually called Baby Mario. Many people thought this version of him would never appear in an animated movie, at least until one of the Super Mario Galaxy the movie trailers showed a baby wearing the main character's hat and another baby wearing Luigi's hat, making it clear that these are Baby Mario and Baby Luigi. We're not sure exactly how this will happen. Toad appears in this scene alongside Yoshi, which suggests this is happening in the present and not in a flashback. In other words, the Mario brothers will end up being transformed into babies. This will most likely be caused by the wizard Kamek. He loves pulling tricks like that. Fire Mario. We were all expecting to see Mario use his fire form in the first movie, but that didn't happen. The Fire Flower transformation was used by Peach and even by Donkey Kong, but Mario? Nothing. Illumination almost had him grab the flower and fail to use it just to mess with us. But to our delight, it's now fully confirmed that Fire Mario will appear in the sequel. We're not theorizing or guessing. The trailers actually showed Mario and Luigi using fire flowers, and there's a strong chance we'll get an amazing fight scene right at the beginning. Ice Mario. The confirmation that we'll see Mario using fire flower powers increases the chances that we'll also see another version of the plumber in this movie. Ice Mario, a transformation gained through the ice flower. Instead of shooting fireballs, he can create freezing snowballs. We actually already saw this transformation in the first movie, but it was used by Princess Peach instead of Mario. Yep, she used the powers of both flowers before he did. But that makes sense. Peach is a princess who has lived in the Mushroom Kingdom much longer than the plumber. Cape Mario. Even if you've never played a game starring the world's most famous Italian plumber, you've definitely seen an image of Mario wearing a cape. He doesn't wear that cape just because he likes Superman, it's actually one of his transformations. Introduced in Super Mario World, this caped version of the character appears when he grabs a magic feather. When he becomes Cape Mario, he can fly like a true superhero. Yes, this transformation is very similar to another one we already saw in the first movie called Tanuki Mario. Is it repetitive? Yes, but it's not like Mario can't have transformations with similar uses. Since we saw the Tanuki form in the first movie, it would make perfect sense to see Cape Mario in the new production. Subscribing to the channel is just as good as watching your favorite animations. Shall we click? Mega Mario. It's actually pretty funny that Bowser was forced to eat a blue mushroom, also known as a mini mushroom, after being defeated by Mario and Luigi. That mushroom shrinks whoever eats it, but did you know that Mario can eat a mushroom that makes him giant in this upcoming movie? This transformation is called Mega Mario, and it first appeared in the game New Super Mario Bros. The plumber can obtain it by eating a mega mushroom, which is much larger than a normal mushroom and has a yellow color. It's one of the character's most powerful forms, and it would make perfect sense for it to appear since the mini mushroom showed up in the previous movie, and the new villain, Bowser Jr., will be very powerful. Dr. Mario. This version we're going to talk about now, unlike the others, isn't exactly a transformation. Dr. Mario is an alternate identity that Mario uses when he works as a doctor instead of a plumber. Yes, besides being a brave hero and fixing pipes, he also knows medicine. Since the movie version of Mario doesn't seem to have any medical knowledge, we think this version of him will be adapted in a different way. He could very well be a relative of Mario who became a doctor, since everyone in his family has the last name Mario. It's also possible that this version of him becomes a special transformation, just like all the others we mentioned in this video, turning Mario into a professional doctor. Wouldn't it be cool to see that happen? Live action Mario. There's something all Nintendo fans prefer to pretend never happened, and that something is the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Movie. Unlike the version made by Illumination, the older film is live action and not faithful at all to the story of the games, which caused it to become a real box office failure. Even so, it's remembered by some people who think it's such a bad movie that it ends up being funny. Now just imagine if the Mario from that older production showed up in Super Mario Galaxy the movie. Older fans would go absolutely crazy, but Bob Hoskins, the actor who played that Mario, sadly passed away in 2014, so this kind of cameo would have to be done using visual effects, with permission from the actor's family, or in a more discreet way, with this live-action Mario appearing only from the neck down, which would already be enough for longtime fans of the plumber to catch the reference. If you like this video, there are 2 more ready on the screen. Just click and keep watching with us. Thanks, and see you soon.